And so you want to make sure, especially whatever they hit when they first hit your site, is, not only professional looking, but approachable.
Increasing your traffic or whatever. And then we have a whole post, a blog post. So if you're a words person, or we also have a video that shows you where to find all those numbers and how to figure it all out. And yeah, don't be scared of the math, because we help lay it all out for you and make it really easy and really simple. So you started talking, Angela, about some of the things, and we'll talk more about this, that you can do to increase conversion rates. But what are some of the reasons that you see that contribute to a conversion rate that is lower? Are there specific things that you tend to see in boutique owners' shops and that contribute to the conversion rate being kind of on the lower end of average?
There are definitely so many things that go into play, but for example, something like having poor product photos, or just a site that looks even a little bit untrustworthy in any way, that just does not look professional or legitimate, or maybe it looks so professional that you almost went too far and now there's no personal touch, and it sort of feels like robotic for them, and they're just not comfortable, to make a purchase. And it's finding that balance sometimes, but and then, so them not being able to find what they're looking for, right? A menu that is cluttered, or links that are broken on your site, or, missing a search bar, something they want, you only have so long for them to be on your website before they're going to decide to just leave. And that's called bounce. And it's actually called bounce, which I think is funny, because I feel like we use that. Yeah. I feel like, I'm going to bounce, but that is actually the term, the bounce rate, when they hit your page before they ever even click anything else, if they just leave. And so you want to make sure, especially whatever they hit when they first hit your site, is, not only professional looking, but approachable, but just helps them really understand what you sell, whether you might have what they're looking for, and whether they can trust you too. So all of that stuff, some of the stuff that goes into play anyway. What about Karla? What do you have to add?
Yeah, like you mentioned, the above the fold, before anyone scrolls, that needs to fully embody what you are offering for your clientele. I was also just going to refer to the menu specifically, and making sure that everything is visible. People shouldn't be looking for information. If they're looking for information, they're going to get frustrated and they're going to bounce. So product descriptions, make sure you've got your product descriptions in there, and have them below your buttons so that people can check out without reading it, but read it if they want to. So just don't deter them from checking out. The process from landing to checkout needs to be as smooth as possible, in as few clicks as possible, for your client to get that product and take it home with them. Yeah.
It's that customer journey, right? From the time that somebody lands on your page to them clicking that purchase button. What is the journey that your customer makes? And what would be good, I would imagine, for boutique owners is, if you haven't in a while, maybe go onto your own website and go look around as if you were a customer, and click on the menus and try to find a thing and add it to your cart and check out and everything, to see what it's like for your customers, so you know what your website is doing.
And that that it's working. Every once in a while you might add like an app that breaks something on your theme. It happens all the time, and people might not even be able to check out, and you wouldn't even know it if you never, check it out. Or broken links can happen, like I was saying. The one thing too to keep in mind that I don't think enough people consider is that I think everybody thinks your homepage is like so important in this magical page and the one that you need to focus the most on, but it's really not the case. Because if you were to look at where people actually land on your site when they first come, it's probably your homepage the least amount of the time, unless they're actually typing your actual web address into Google or something and going, then they're landing on your homepage. But if they're getting to it through an email or a social media post or even a Facebook ad, they're probably hitting a product page or a collection page. So you want to make sure, especially your new arrivals collection page is, because that one's really common, is just really well thought out. You know, if you have a really large catalog, do you have filters set up? Do you have things in place to make it easy, again, for someone on that page to find what they're looking for? You know, our favorite themes even have a side panel, where again, you can do filters, you can highlight something like if you want them to join your text club, or if you have a sale going on, you know, things like that. And then, but more often it's going to be the product page. So again, really thinking about that product page too, and what else you can add to it. You know, a lot of our favorite themes have like a sizing chart pop out where it'll say like sizing details, and they can click on it to see your sizing chart. Like, what can you do to make it as easy as possible and for them to feel comfortable that, you know, this item is going to come quickly, this item is going to fit, or they're going to, you know, it's not going to be a huge hassle to deal with otherwise. How can you do all of that on a product page, for example?
Yeah.
So,
and that's another thing you can look at in analytics, is it'll show you your top landing pages. So you can see where people are landing and check out those pages and make sure that they have all, they're all clear and organized.
Yeah, because sometimes like, and I see this especially, well, in the past, it was like Pinterest for people that have had a pin that has gone viral. Nowadays, it might be TikTok, that you have a video that's gone viral that you had a link back to something specific. So if you do have like a specific product page, for example, that has gone viral, first of all, make sure that even if you end up out of stock of that product, do not lose that page. Do not hide that page. Reuse the same exact page and URL for a new similar product. Very similar, ideally. You're not trying to like pull the wool over anyone's eyes. It's just that you don't want to lose the traction that you have on that page. So it's like those small changes, and you need to optimize everything in your business, every single thing, your processes, the items that you carry. You know, that's why like open to buy planning is so important. Do you have enough inventory to even sell, you know, what you are capable of selling? Do you have the right inventory? Are you wasting time trying to sell kids clothing when nobody's buying it? Nobody's buying it. You're wasting your money. Your money could be put on leggings, which you know are selling like hotcakes and always have been for you. These are very specific examples, obviously, but like just as an example, you know, like optimize every single aspect of your business, including your website.
So let's get into some more nitty gritty then. And the big question is, cool, okay, I know what my conversion rate is, and I know that it's important and that I want to optimize my site for conversion rate optimization. How do I do that? How do I optimize for conversion? What are some good ways to see some improvement in that conversion rate?
So I think we already touched on a little bit of these items, but we'll just reiterate them for you now. So having your checkout buttons above the fold of your page, so people don't have to scroll down to actually put items into their cart. Having a well-organized menu, people can find what they need to find when they're looking for it. Having a visible search bar right there in the header that people can search. If your theme allows it, having predictive search so that it shows up some items even in the search bar without them navigating away from the homepage. Again, that's reducing a click for your clients to get that in there. The size chart pop-up guide right on your product pages. The more you can, without going overboard, of course, link up on that product page that you land on in a little pop-up module like the size chart that just shows you the little size chart and doesn't have your client navigate away from that product page might increase your conversion, because they will stay there. They can see the sizing, they stay on the page, and they can make their conscious decision to add it to cart right then and there without going to a sizing chart page and having to navigate back and then maybe not finding the page again. So making sure that you have, for instance, your navigation links as well, your breadcrumbs as they call them, where you can see to navigate to the collection back and forth. Anything else to add, Angela, from your side?
Yeah. Well, so just, yeah, really thinking about that customer journey and getting into the mindset of that customer in terms of, when I hit this spot in the process, what could prevent me from continuing, or what could make me think, I'll do this later, you know? So even things like, if you don't offer the payment option that they want, you know, whether that's PayPal or Sezzle, you know, I could have literally loaded my cart up with $300 worth of stuff. And I've done this, like, I am a shopper. I have done this before to some of your websites, actually. I'm sure I loaded my cart and I get to check out. There's no PayPal option and my card is in my car. There's no way in Hades I'm going to get up off the couch. I'm comfortable. Get into the mindset of, like, I literally will leave the cart. Sometimes I even think, well, you know, they'll probably send me like a reminder email and I'll buy it then. What if I don't get the reminder email because you don't have it set up? That, like, literally, not as much with boutiques, because Shopify makes it pretty easy. And unless you literally go in there and turn it off, it's going to send me a reminder. If I had gotten to the point of being able to put my email address in, because that's the other thing. If I didn't get that far, you lost me. But anyway, so, you know, is the payment option that I want there? And yes, is it easy enough to find the add to cart and sizing information, and also return information in case I needed to know that? I'm not really a returner. If I buy a pair of jeans from you and it doesn't fit, it's just going to sit in my closet anyway. But some people really do return, you know, and it's going to mean a lot to them if they have a good experience doing so. For them to come back. Now, we don't want any chronic returners. That's a whole nother matter, but, you know, I mean, people just want their items to fit. That's all, right? So give them the sizing information that they need on the product page. One of our favorite themes, Icon, on the product page, you can actually have little tabs. I don't normally recommend using tabs for anything really, really important. Because they're not clicked on a lot. But what's nice to have there sometimes is, you know, things that could be, you know, those FAQs, things that they could be thinking of in their head as they're debating whether to purchase, especially if they've never purchased from you. So in those description tabs, having like shipping returns there, that can make them feel comfortable that they know, oh, hey, this item is being shipped from the US. It's going to be shipped out within 2 days. I am allowed to return within 2 weeks if I want, you know, things like that can really help push them along. So just, again, get into their mindset and think, like, what are the things when you're shopping, or if you were, that could get in your way of buying something? And those are the things you want to address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like one of the things too, between the two of you guys, is like as few links, like as few button clicks as possible is really important.
And not to distract and not to link out away from product pages if you can. So if you're running a sale, sure, put the sale there, but don't distract away to your Instagram page from a product page, for instance. You don't want, unless you are selling on Instagram as well, which will still end up in a conversion for you, hopefully. But if you link out, people can go down a rabbit hole in Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, and then you've lost them. You don't get the conversion. So not linking out as far as possible to external platforms on your product pages as well, but highlight the things that are important to you.
Yeah, that's actually why I recommend to our clients, to everybody, that you don't actually have links to any of your socials above the fold or at the top of your website. So I don't recommend social icons at the top. I don't recommend links to socials in your menu. And I don't recommend any graphics calling that out. Those can be further down on the page, because, hey, if someone is legitimately on your site and they're specifically wanting to find your Instagram, they should be able to easily find it, yes, but they should also know, just standard these days, right, that if they scroll to the bottom, they're going to be able to find that. So you do want all of that information ready for them, available on the bottom, but not on the top. Now, the only exception there might be, like, we have some clients that like, they, you know, their bread and butter is their app, from their app, their mobile app. And that's really where they want to push everybody, is to download that app. And that's also where they're spending most of their marketing efforts, you know, in terms of how often they're sending push notifications. they may not be doing other, marketing activities. That's their main thing. So they really do want that visitor at all costs to download the app. That's maybe even more important than them making a website purchase, because if they download the app, they can purchase there and they can, continue to be alerted and everything, and you can stay top of mind. So if that's the case, then maybe highlighting your app above a fold would make sense. That's like an exception, basically. Or there's people that, really focus on live videos, for example, if that's your bread and butter. I mean, every business is going to be unique. So when it comes to what's important on your website, you want to think like, what is your end goal? Because for a lot, it is that conversion rate optimization of the site itself. But for some businesses, the goal might be a little bit different. I mean, even with ours, Hot Mess, where we offer services, I mean, yes, we would love for you to have never heard of us, see an ad, come to our page, spend $3,000+ and work with us, right? But chances are that's not going to happen. So we have to think about the goals of our website, and build it based on that. And so if there is something unique or special about your business, well, every business is unique and special, but like, think about what those things are and what you really want your visitor to do. Because we say conversion rate optimization, and yes, like we're, technically speaking, it is the people that purchase, right, that hit your site. But conversion rate, I mean, it could be, what are you trying to get them to do? What are you trying to get them to convert to? Maybe in your case, because your business is just like, you sell really, really high ticket items and they're not going to purchase right away. Maybe your conversion is getting them on your email list or getting them to download that app. Think about like, what are you trying to get them to do to convert into? And it's not maybe always just about the sale of an item.
Yeah. No, you said like when you build out your site and thinking about all this optimization. So when you're building a site, something that we haven't really talked about yet is mobile, and how important having a mobile optimized site. Can you talk a little bit about that?
This is one of Angela's favorite topics, but I'll kick us off, I think. Yeah, when you're building it and you're building it on Shopify's platform or Common Soul's platform, you're more often not actually interfacing on a web platform. And when you're building it, you see everything's great for desktop, and then you hit the little mobile and you're like, oh, but this doesn't work. So you need to make sure that when you're building, you are actually, and all of the platforms offer the little toggle where you can see between the two different views to make sure that it is optimized for both of you. But making sure that your graphics don't cut off, your text is still legible when you're getting onto mobile, because it's smaller screens. You need to make sure you're not putting too much information text-wise that's going to take people too long to read, because in today's time span and our
limited attention span.
Limited attention span. Thank you. Most of us don't want to read like 3-4 sentences. It needs to be like one sentence, and I need to get the information.
Especially if those sentences are bland as all get out. I mean, if they're funny or something, or like really, really on brand and cutesy, like that might work. But yeah, huge chunks of text, no. Especially like, something that doesn't even look that big on desktop can all of a sudden take up your entire above the fold on mobile. Big pet peeve of mine. The copy is good for SEO, so you want it somewhere, but not right front and center above the fold. Yeah.
That goes for the announcement bar as well, because that's one thing that they want to highlight all their sales and all the discount codes in the announcement bar, and then you hit mobile and it's over 3 lines and you've got nothing left of your homepage when they first land on it as well. Or even the product pages, they'll always need to scroll because the announcement bar stays there. So just keeping that in mind specifically. I think that's the main points I'd like to flag. Angela, any more for you?
Need more? Check out the blog at hotmessblog.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel too. Cheers!